You're
it's
like
coming
a fucking
together.
reinvented Kenny Powers, bro. It's like the best fucking thing ever. You got like the little let me explain you to every like you got a little George Michael thing going on with your ear. You got a little Dog the Bounty Hunter. You got like one part Def Leppard going to the show. Like you look like you should be on a typhoon, like literally looking for alligators. You know what I mean? You got a little bit of bedazzle, like with your own fucking name. Like it, dude. This guy, I swear to God, and he's got just a stash. So, like, if there's anything, nevertheless, the chains and the tats, it's very confusing. I don't know what would happen to you if you went to jail. But, like, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. People would be really confused. Be like, this guy looks really Southern, but, like, he has long hair, so do I fight him or do I try? What are we gonna do with this guy?
Hey, welcome to another episode of 2020. My name is Cory Peza here, as always, with my cohorts in crime, Benny Goodman and Siobhan Cronin. What's going on?
What's up?
This is a party episode we got going on here. We got the one and only Cody Ash, who's a friend of Siobhan's.
I was super excited that he jumped on the show. He's the drummer for Jellyroll, also of Sylar. He's got an amazing YouTube channel. Great time. He's such a persona. You've got to jump in, listen and watch, definitely.
He kind of looks like Kenny Powers' cooler fucking brother.
And he also plays drums.
And he plays drums. So
pretty good job at it.
So without further ado, like and subscribe 2020-d.com. Stay tuned right now for part 1 with Cody Ash. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Siobhan Cronin. Welcome to another episode of 2020. I'm here with my co-hosts, Benny Goodman and Cory Peza. We're all here with our drinks, our poisons, and this week we have the incredible drummer, Cody Ash of Jellyroll, Sylar, his own projects, independent studio artist, has a great YouTube channel. He just does so many things, it's hard to sum it up in one short intro, so we're just going to jump right in. I'm so excited to have you join us. Definitely anyone listening, check out the YouTube cast. He's got total rock and roll look going on right now. So I just know this is going to be a good time. Thanks for joining us.
Yo, thank you for having me. It's an honor. I love it. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so I was the one that kind of roped you into this. So welcome to our shenanigans. But for any of the listeners, just to jump in, you know, I met you. Well, we actually crossed paths. Me being in Starset, you played with Sylar, I think, on one of our shows a while back. And then recently we were at a festival, and I was like, someone said, "Oh, this guy Jellyroll's doing a set. Let's go check him out." And I had never heard of him, but went up and I saw you drumming, and you knew Adam, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is absolutely incredible! You guys have an amazing energy on stage." And I saw you up there, and you're just like a killer drummer, great musician. Started following you on Instagram, and you have an amazing set of content on there. So I'm just really excited to ask you about everything that's going on in your life.
Hey, no holds bar. We're here for it. Everything. Yeah. I could put it completely slipped my mind. The Sylar shows back in it was 2017. It was us, you guys, and Skillet was headlining. Yeah. And we did the one show in Illinois, and then we did then we all went to Rock on the Range, and then we played the show in Louisville, Kentucky.
Right. Which
was, that was super sick. And then
can I just add a little color to this? So if you're not watching the YouTube, which is possible, I want you to understand what Cody looks like, because I feel like it's a brand, and I mean, like, in a very awesome way. Because first off, anybody that has a ridiculous mullet, like in the best way, like, believe this guy. Like, you're serious. One.
Yeah.
Two, the guy's like, looks, whatever glasses you're wearing, you look like you're about to either like yell at a WW, like Razor Ramon, like rest in peace. You know what I mean? Pull out your phone, or like, and then, and I gotta tell you, like, I don't know this song. Okay, I went and saw this song, "Astronaut in the Ocean" by Masked Wolf, which is a song that I feel like I wouldn't normally like if I had to hear it, but like, holy fucking shit, you have a drum cover and it's like some crazy ass, like insane playing, but it grooves so dirty. And then meanwhile, you're sitting there wearing like you have the hair speaks for itself, and you're just playing like with this fucking silly, reckless abandon, like fuck these drums. And I gotta tell you, if you're gonna look like that, play like you do.
Oh, you have to. I mean, I think every drummer should hit their drums like they mean it, but yeah, if you're gonna look loud, be loud too.
Absolutely. Wow, what a great motto to live by. You definitely embody that in your energy on stage and in your videos. You really get that, and that's hard, especially in video, to get that energy across.
That's the name of this episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're gonna look loud.
We already have
That's it, dude.
Hey,
That's the name of the episode.
That's a good little clickbait title,
Right, a great way to start
so
it
we're always
off.
on the lookout for clickbait.
Oh my gosh. So well, speaking of that philosophy, I'm curious for the listeners just to get to know you. How did you get started? How did you gravitate to the drums? What was your early exposure to music? Like, how did you get onto the path that led you to where you are today?
All right, yeah. So I had a crush on a girl in 5th grade. So like, I don't know, where I grew up. So I'm from a town called Mount Washington, Kentucky, and small little town. At least when I was growing up, it was small, but yeah, we, at my elementary school, it was like, you couldn't join band until you were in 5th grade. And it was like, everybody joined band in 5th grade and everybody wanted to, but so come 5th grade, it's, my time to shine. We're going to get in band, but I had this crush on this girl and she played flute. So I was like, oh yeah, man, I'm going to play flute and I'm going to sit right next to her. So sure enough, day one, I go sit next to her and we like start doing our instruments in order and stuff. But all the percussionists had already had their stuff there. And so they're like hitting their snare drums and doing all this other stuff. And I was like, man, I really wish I was back there. I was like, I want to play drums. I don't want to play flute. And then after like 3 days, and this girl just did not give a shit. I went to my instructor. I was like, I want to play drums. I don't want to play flute. I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. I want to sit in that chair. And then, and she was like, all right, go back. So I got my little xylophone and my small little snare drum. And, so that's kind of what started it. And, when I was in 6th grade, there was this guy that went to the University of Louisville who would come down, and he would, every time I'd walk into class, he'd be on the drum set. And I was like, God, this guy's so sick. And then the 8th graders had a Christmas concert, and basically they had a drum solo during one of the Christmas songs. And I just thought it was one of the most badass thing. I thought it was so sick. And I went to my parents after the concert, and I was like, I have to have a drum set. I have to have a drum set. I have to do that. Everybody was cheering for that guy. Everybody loved it. That was amazing. I want that. I need that. And so I was very fortunate, and my parents brought me this like crappy little, I think the brand was CB drums. And
I remember CB drums, dude. I used to sell those things myself, like $150, and they were like totally like one step above like the Animal Behind the Kid Muppet set.
Yeah, the toms were like 12 by 12 and 13 by 13.
The cymbals were made of tin.
They were like literally it was complete garbage.
At that point, were you listening to like bands and music, or was all your influence kind of coming from what you were hearing at school?
I think at that age, my biggest, I wasn't really listening to bands yet. My favorite artist at that time was Nelly.
Nice.
I was showing up to 6th grade in like the full like suede. No, is it suede? What, or like felt suits, or like whatever.
You have your Air Force Ones.
Yeah, I had Air Force Ones.
Of course you did.
I can totally picture this.
It was ridiculous. And also do you remember that movie You Got Served?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That hip hop dance movie.
Yep.
Of
I was like
course.
obsessed with that movie, so I started wearing like overly baggy gray sweatpants and like gray t-shirts that were 5 sizes too big, and just I don't even know. It's terrible. Spray painted. You remember the Fat Farm shoes?
Oh yeah.
I had high top Fat Farms that were spray painted. Oh, they were. Oh,
Did you
You
have
were so
grills?
committed to the vibe. So
No,
committed.
Did you have grills?
I didn't have grills. I did not. But no, it was. Dude,
Oh,
it was,
man.
Looking back at that time, it's just really funny because after that year, I never dressed like that ever again. So yeah, I mean, at that time, I really just listened to like Nelly, Lil Jon, Ying Yang Twins, like whatever was popular on the radio. I think I was still into like Britney Spears. I mean, I'm into them now, but at the time it wasn't cool to be into them anymore. But I think I was still listening to like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and Omarion, B2K, LL Cool J, Lil Romeo, Bow Wow. You know, all the good like
Yeah, all the
late
iconic
90s,
groups.
early 2000 stuff.
All the people that put Lou Pearlman in jail.
Yeah. And so yeah, they at that time I started really getting into to drumming, and I found like, you know, my dad was like, "Oh, you're playing drums, like you should check out these guys." And you know, he shows me Rush, and then he shows me like we listened to like AC/DC and ZZ Top and Kiss and Motley Crue and Poison in his truck. But then he was like, "Oh, you play drums? I got to introduce you to every great drummer that I grew up with." And so he was like, showed me Neil Peart, and then like the guy that would come to the middle school to like do the drum stuff, he like introduced me to Slipknot, and he was like kind of coming over and giving me lessons. His name was Joey. Still was kind of coming over and giving me lessons, and every week he'd like be like, "All right, learn this Jerry Lee Lewis song," and then he'd be like, "Learn this Kiss song," and then he'd make me learn a country song. He'd make me learn like some kind of jazz song or a funk, like a 70s funk song. And that's when I started like really molding music. Then I got now we're into like 8th grade, 9th grade. I was super into like Nickelback and Bullet for My Valentine and all that stuff. And then around like 10th grade, I hit this big switch and I became obsessed with hair metal, and I'm still obsessed with hair metal.
Yes.
Wait, can we pause for a second? Because you mentioned
please.
the band Nickelback. Because I defend Nickelback because they're laughing up there in fucking Canada with their Canadian loonies. They listen to Slayer. So I have no problem with them. And then they made filthy money and everyone made fun of them like Winger on Beavis and Butthead. And I'm like, no, dude, these guys are awesome. And if you see them live, their guitar player does like a 15-minute Zakk Wylde guitar solo and they cover Pantera. Like, they're fucking awesome. Tell me how you feel about them, Cody Ash.
Hey, I'll tell you this. There's a reason why everyone that hates them can recite every single one of their lyrics.
Amen.
Mic drop.
That's all that they said. You can talk all the shit you want, but every single person knows just about 75% of at least one Nickelback song.
Yeah.
It's funny
Absolutely.
because I talked to my buddy Shannon Larkin, friend of the show, who plays drums for Godsmack, and he's like, "Yeah, man, you know, there's a lot of people don't know the name of our band, but then if you sing them like Voodoo, they're like, oh no, I know that guy, because like everybody knows Sully." Yeah. Everyone knows Sully's voice. So like they're like number 3 on some ridiculous like Billboard chart. And I'm like, are you serious? And the answer is yes, because that guy has that voice that everyone recognizes. And his name is Sully from Godsmack.
I think Nickelback is going to go down as one of the greatest bands of the early 2000s. I mean, just one of the greatest rock bands ever, to be honest. Like, there's no reason to the band that has that many hits and can write. Dude, their riffs are just so overlooked, and it's so annoying because they got some fucking sick riffs. Yeah. I love Nickelback, dude. I fucking love Nickelback. Even through the whole thing, because I feel like Nickelback's starting to become cool again now. that even through the whole like past 15 years of people being like, oh, Nickelback, haha, fucking loser, like fuck off, dude. No, I always
favorite
stood
argument
by Nickelback.
For that band is there's a guy named Devin Townsend. I don't know if you know him, but like
Yeah,
he's an
Devin
underground
Townsend,
metal.
he's
yeah,
sick. He's sick.
Yeah,
dude.
one of the sickest singers ever. Everyone fucking loves him. Everyone in the music industry is like, oh, Devin. Everything he does is profound. He's like a Mike Patton, like from Faith No More. Everything he does is profound.
Dude's incredible.
worships Nickelback. He's from the same fucking town as Chad Kroeger, and he actually had Chad Kroeger produce one of his records, and he like literally laments how Chad can just like shit out excellence and just knows like how to put a song together better than anybody. And this is literally Devin Townsend, one of the most musically complex, incredible dudes. And that's because Chad Kroeger is like the Andrew Lloyd Webber of like pop music. He just writes these rock songs that are so like Photograph is so annoyingly infectious, like a More Than Words by Extreme. Like you're so annoyed by it, but then it's forever.
I think it's extremely ignorant for anyone. I mean, actually, not anyone, but maybe any musician to say that Nickelback is a terrible band. I think it's extremely ignorant because there's a reason that millions upon millions of people know their songs. There's a reason that their drummer is incredible. Their guitarist is incredible. Chad has a great voice. You can have a subjective opinion and say that you don't like their music, but to deny that they write fucking hits and write great songs and have awesome riffs, I just think that's so ignorant because they're so sick. They're such a good band.
Absolutely.
And it's funny you brought up hair metal, and I feel like Nickelback is kind of the modern day hair metal with like the huge hooky choruses and the over the top riffs and everything, and I think it's just an extension of hair metal, and I love hair metal.
I mean, you gotta dude, what All the Right Reasons, dude, that song had what 12-13 tracks and it had 11 tracks and literally 10 of them were number ones.
Unbelievable.
10 out of 11 songs go number one. Tell me how that happens if this band sucks so bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's I will stand by Nickelback till I die.
Well, what's great to hear though is that you, from an early age, you had exposure from various sources to a lot of different visual elements of drumming, but also hearing it, having people introduce you to bands. But go on, what were you going to say?
And classical. I was in concert band my whole life, even through sports, through everything. I was in concert band from 5th grade all the way to college, and I was part of I went to I went to music camps. I went to band camps. I was in marching band for 2 years. I marched at the University of Louisville for a year. I was on the snare line.
Did you see a bunch of hot chicks? Because there's a fucking bunch of hot chicks in Kentucky. And I got to tell you, if I was playing in marching band, I'd be like, there's got to be some girls in that line out there that you're staring at, right?
No.
No chicks in the marching band in Louisville, Kentucky.
Listen. I'll be. Actually, there was one.
Oh, come on, man.
No. Okay, all right. If we're being real, there was one cutie.
She's
that was
Highlander over there.
And then our baton twirler girl. She was super attractive, but. No, I don't know, man. I didn't really fit in college. I was in a weird,
Do you fit in now? I feel like you don't, and that's kind of why I like you, man.
I think you've probably found your people now, but I can understand that. But go on. What were you going to say about it?
Everyone fits in somewhere.
Right, but what were you going to say about that?
As far as fitting in, I don't know, man. I've never really I think we all as humans feel the need to be a part of something, or at least feel a part of something. So I think I have that natural, I want to feel involved. I want to feel like I'm liked. I want to feel like this, and so on and so forth. And I've definitely been in situations where I haven't felt like that, but, I've actually never really like talked to many people about this, but like when I was in Sylar, when I joined them, they were all from the Northeast and I'm from the South. So it's like our like ways of living and like the jokes and, how people talk to one another, it just completely different. And so when I first got in that band, I didn't really like fit in. I didn't really know what was going to happen. I was like, I think for a year straight, at least like 2 to 3 times on every tour, I asked all the members, I was like, yo, do you guys even like fucking like me? And they were like, dude, shut up. Yeah. What are you talking about? And like, but it was just, I didn't get their jokes and I didn't get like, because the way they would joke was like how I would talk shit to someone.
Yeah.
Like if I was
that's the Northeast.
The Northeast, for sure.
Their jokes were just so straight up. And I was like, I just didn't get it for so long. And then finally I like got it. And everything just like smoothed over. And I was like, oh, okay, all this makes sense now. I'm just from the South and I just didn't get it.
Just polite and have manners.
Cory always says that like if you're in a band in Boston, that the only way you know you've done well is if all your friends show up and they tell you how shitty you were and how many times you fucked up. Like, hey man, the third song you looked like a dickhead, and the fourth song you're full blown dickhead. But, I actually left because you suck so bad. Like that's Boston, and that's no joke. Like it doesn't matter how good you play, dude. Like that's how we are.
Yeah, no. And then we're talking like it was like 5 years ago, and so like I completely like got it, and I was like, oh, and really that shaped me into like how I joke with people now, because I was like, oh, this is actually fucking funny, like fuck you. And but definitely as far as like the fitting and stuff, like I found my place with them, and we ended up having some great tours and good laughs, and then I joined the Jellyroll gig, and I definitely feel a part of that. It's awesome. It's
That's
great.
awesome. What was your transition from doing the drums in through college and that and transitioning it into an actual career of playing outside of school and outside of that organized type of situation?
Yeah. So like, I went to college to study. Music theory because I wanted to be a music theory teacher.
That's amazing.
My drum, like our percussion, like drum teacher, Dr. Byrne, he was absolutely incredible, and loved him to death, still love him to death. But our marching band instructor kind of like put a damper on it. Cause I really, before that, all I'd wanted to do was tour, but I felt the pressure to have a backup plan. So I was like, oh, I need to go to college. I need to get a degree. I need this. But like the whole time.
Did that pressure, not to interrupt you, but did that come from your teachers or from parents or from like, where did that pressure come from?
I think some of it came from family, and I think some of it came from like my own head, because I think I knew going into like networking and touring and wanting to tour, like how, nothing's guaranteed, and everything just comes from how hard you work. But I've also watched people that work their asses off not make it. And so I just had this stress and to do that. And unfortunately, fortunately, because everything works out how it's supposed to be, but unfortunately, because I wish I would have got a master's in music theory. The marching band instructor, my band was like my local band at the time was about to start touring, and I pulled her aside and I met in her office, and I was like, hey, like, my band's going to start touring. Like, is there a way that we can work around like marching shows and like games, like, whatever. And she looked at me with a blank face and she said, each time you miss a game, you lose a letter grade. And I was like, so I miss 4 games and I fail. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, well, that's it for me. I'll see y'all later. Like, I'm out. Because I wasn't going to miss. My mindset was I'm not going to miss any opportunity to leave and go on tour ever. No matter how big, how small, I don't care. I'm payment, no matter what it was, I'm not missing the opportunity to tour and play drums and travel, because that's what I want to do. That's how I want to make a living. That's how I want to put a roof over my head.
That was really insightful, because I mean, I encountered a similar thing going to classical music school. You know, I went to undergrad and did a music degree, and I would get opportunities to tour, you know, and the whole point of music school is to prepare you for a career in music, right? And same thing, the school orchestra rehearsal, it's the same thing. Oh, if you're going to miss the dress rehearsal, you automatically get a C. But here I have an opportunity to actually do what I'd like to do in my life. I'm clearly working hard in my classes. Why can't we work around something? And it was very rigid like that. And I was shocked.
It's a feudalistic society in university. You stay a serf.
They're not actually trying. I don't think that they're actually trying to prepare you to be successful in music. I think they only want you to be successful for them, for their school, to put it on. Because after you leave, none of them care. Unless you unless you're like Jennifer Lawrence, and then you say you're a famous person in your town and you went to that college, that's the only time they're going to give you any kind of recognition. So you can't go be successful while you're in college unless you're unless you're playing sports. And then I don't know, music is super overlooked. It's like, why can't this 21-year-old kid be in college and miss marching so he can go on a fucking world tour and make a living, and then come back and still be in college and not like miss anything for it? Why can't that kid go do that? That's why he's here. Like, that's why that kid's here.
Of course. Plus, you bring back the value and perspective to your peers. Yeah. I mean, that actually enhances I loved having people like that around me. So that's shocking.
It enhances the value of your peers, and then you become someone that's like,
well, hold on. Maybe there's an answer to that question, because look at what you're doing, right? You had an all or nothing situation. So you're right. It would have sucked had you not become like a professional drummer, touring, playing in the studio all the time, having a kick-ass YouTube channel. You could have like gone back to school as a safety plan. But like in this case, they pulled the rug out from underneath you and made the decision really easy just to become a full-time fucking full-blown rock star. So that's the answer to your question. Why do they do that? Because they want you to walk off the mountain and spread your wings and fly. If you don't, then you go kersplat.
I don't think that was their motivation. I think
I think you took the wrong lesson from that story.
No, I don't think they cared about me. They did not care about me either way. Which, I mean,
for once, Ben was being an optimist. Wait, was
that the wrong time, guys?
My drum instructor did, though. My drum instructor at that college, he still keeps up with me. I still talk to him. My percussion instructor. I still talk to him on Facebook all the time. He's just the absolute best. So basically, I did the college thing, and that ended up happening. But to get to like touring and stuff, back in like 2009, my local band started playing shows, and then college really taught me a lot as far as like made me realize how to be a professional drummer. I still hadn't got the talking to people thing under wraps yet, but to be a good drummer and a professional musician, I took a lot away from college from that. And so I started networking and going to shows, and like probably was over fanboying for people and just to like shake their hands and meet them and so on and so forth.
Before we go too far, what does make a pro drummer versus an amateur drummer? What were those main takeaways that you got?
Oh, the biggest one is that you're not the fucking star of the show. You're not the star of the show. You play your fucking part. And you are part of a song. You do not overplay that song. And if anybody that overplays songs, anybody that overdoes it and doesn't realize that they are there to make the song better. Dude, those kids out in the crowd, unless you're going to like, I don't freaking know, unless you're like going to a Animals as Leader show, or you're going to like Periphery or Polyphia, or, you know, or unless you're going to a show like that, or rest in peace, Neil Peart, you know, people don't give a flying shit that you're playing drums. That's why all the pop stars, the people that are playing for 30 to 40,000 people a night, all their musicians sit in the back. You don't ever see them. Like, no one gives a flying shit what you're doing on that drum kit. All they want to do is show up and sing the songs that they care about.
Well, wait a minute. When I saw NSYNC on the No Strings Attached tour, and then later on the Pop tour is what I'm thinking of, right?
Well,
they had them like inside the set, in the set.
Yeah.
But then they turned them around, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait a minute, those drum solos real? But then just as they got 30 seconds into it, they turned them back so you couldn't see them for the rest of the show.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously there's like pop and rap artists that do showcase their musicians and have them like on the back line, but some people have them behind the curtains, like some people have them wherever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, people show up to sing and have a good time and be a part of the songs that they connected with. And if you're just playing bullshit, you're just ruining those people's times. Like, I don't know. That's how I see it anyways. Like,
no, that's a lesson we've heard time and time again, you know, spoken, you know, through different lenses, but it always does come to that. Play for the song is what every successful person we've talked to boils it down to that at some point. Especially, we've had a lot of drummers on, and that's a pretty common talking point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm curious to ask, how much has your classical training influenced your playing? Because one thing I noticed is similar between you and Adam in my band is he also did a lot of the classical training, the percussion, the drum line, marching band. And I feel like that really creates or helps enhance a certain style, and that you're super tight and very great at just like both leading and following. And I'm just curious to hear how that, because we haven't really talked to many drummers that had that sort of background.
Yeah. No, I can't say. So I do have that background. Like I've played with, you know, I've done the concert band. I've played with an orchestra.
Is that why your crescendos sound like MIDI?
Probably.
They're fucking perfect. I'm like literally watching you like go along. I'm like, is this with this? I'm like, no, you sound like, you're so good. You sound like you're programmed with as far as the way that you crescendo. And I'm like, it explains that you and Adam exactly like are in marching band for years going. Explains it.
I think
makes sense.
I mean, just like he was saying, I think one of a big thing I took from it was just to how to be a part of something, and that it's not about me, it's about the song, it's about the music. Dynamics are literally everything. Dynamics can create and ruin a show all at the same time. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little like over drastic with it because I'm maybe in a rock show.
No, I totally agree.
But yeah, dynamics are a huge part of my playing, and a lot of that does come from having to go from pianissimo all the way up to fortissimo, and you know, doing the whole thing, and fortissimo, and yeah, and I think it really just taught me how to appreciate music and drumming, and you know, just being a part of the song as a whole, and just creating something that affects and makes people feel.
Sure.
Because it just, man, even in high school, my concert band was ass, dude. We were god awful, but you know, I was very fortunate to be good enough to where I was offered to come play for like the state band, or like you know, like intercollegiate bands, or you know, whatever.
Yeah, like an all-state band orchestra thing. We had similar things.
And
yeah.
So I got to play with like real musicians, and not that, you know, not disgracing anyone that I was in band with in my school, but you know, and I realized that I was very important to just kind of take the seat back and you know, you can, even the parents that have no idea what we're playing, they don't care if it's Tchaikovsky or freaking Mozart or Beethoven. They don't give a shit. They're just there because their child was doing great. But you could, so they had no idea what song we were playing, but you could just see that they somehow, like, the dynamics of the song, they would just be impacted. And I think that's just beautiful. And I think that's really one of the things that dynamics and being a part of something and realizing it's more than just myself, or, you know, we're creating something that means something to people, is probably one of the biggest things I took away from all of that. And,
absolutely. No, I can relate to that. I mean, you learn that especially in orchestra, where a lot of us in the band world, you get used to being in 4-piece groups, 5-piece groups, you know. But when you're in an orchestra, if you really took everyone else away, you really are pretty unimportant. You know, like, it has to all work together in such a massive way. You know,
if I would have never,
what conductor hurt you, Siobhan, so bad?
No, but it's true. And to achieve like a dynamic that's dramatic, every person has to be so conscious of it. You know, if you have 50 people trying to do a pianissimo, it's really hard.
Really, you know? Hard. It takes one person to fuck that up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But yeah, and then, you know, another thing, Siobhan, like, I have an appreciation for, like, you know, when I met you, I mean, I literally, I watched you guys play and I was like, I have to meet her. I have to shake that girl's hand. I have to meet her, because we didn't talk in 2017. We didn't meet each other.
Right.
But I remember watching you. I remember we were at it was the Iroquois Park Amphitheater in Louisville, and I was sitting out front and just listening to you guys sound check, and I was like, dude, because you guys had the cello player then too. I never got to meet her, but yeah, the cello player too, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just beautiful. I need to meet them. I'm just, because I appreciate symphonic stuff so much. I appreciate strings and orchestral stuff so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate strings and then we just ended up playing the same stage at Blue Ridge, and I was like, that's it. I'm going to meet her. I'm going to shake her hand.
I was so excited. I'm so glad that we became friends. No, but I can tell that you have that humility. It comes across immediately when anyone meets you.
And I was I was just so astounded by your playing, and you know, it's things like that. It really, that stems from just having that orchestral experience in the classical and symphonic and all
if
that
it makes
stuff.
you feel better, man, like, we stole Siobhan and both of the cellists from Starset to come play in our band, Lost Symphony, because I also agree, and I'm pretty sure that Cory concurs, that strings sound better on everything, which is why we're flying them this next month down, and we're going to go record in my friend's mausoleum that has like 30-foot marble ceilings, which is the only other thing I said when I'm standing in the mausoleum. Well, I was like, man, well, hold on, but you can I'm telling Cody, follow me here. Have you ever walked into a room and been like, oh man, this would be so badass to set up a drum set in here because the reverb is wild?
No, but dude, I have walked in a room and I was like, wow, this room is just big enough for me to set up 12 pianos behind my computer screen.
I literally almost just joked.
Oh my God, that was perfect.
No, man. That was good, dude.
Oh, man. We got to keep a running tally of how many guests shit on Ben for the amount of pianos that he has in his control room.
Fucking Kentucky Fried Chicken
keyboards,
over here.
Yeah, you don't even have to talk to know that you're extra just based on the whole setup there. So I get it. There's not a single ounce of wall space
left.
left.
The irony is the true story is
tune into the YouTube.
I was going to say, I'm actually... I'm moving a grand piano literally 8 feet away from here, that direction on Friday. I actually have to take off part of my bulkhead with a plasma cutter thing so that I can actually get my grand piano down there. But I'm going to do that. So thank you for pointing that out.
Oh my God.
If someone would have walked up to me and been like, yo, and showed me a picture and said, yeah, this guy plays for a band called Lost Symphony, I would have been like, he sure as fuck does. You're damn right. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, I'm just fucking.
No, that's great.
I'm just playing fun.
That's fucking great.
You've got two Boston guys here, so you've got the perfect humor.
Yeah, ball busting right there. We can appreciate that.
I'm going to say that, like, I have tears in my eyes how much I appreciate the sincerity of that roast, dude. That was fantastic. It's kind of like when I said, like, I believe you just because of the way you look, but that's true because you have a brand, and I swear to God, I tell everyone, go to Cody Ash, type it into YouTube. You have, first off, not only are you an incredible drummer, but your videos are fucking fire. So, like, I don't know how old you are, but, like, I feel like the younger generation is like, yeah, we have to shoot this in like 18K. And like whatever you're doing, like you have the most beautiful lighting. Your guy bobs up and down sometimes with your drum beats. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting any kind of weird nausea. I'm like, I feel it with the beat. And it's amazing to watch you, dude. And then meanwhile, you have amazing hair, dude. You just fucking up and down. It's just everywhere. And the thing is, there's 1 or 2 videos I watched you, and you make no face. You just fucking fuck the camera. And Paul Lorenzo in our band used to get yelled at because he didn't make a face, so he got a mask. But meanwhile, you're not making the face, and you're just owning it so much that it's uncomfortable, and it's fucking amazing, dude. I salute you.
I did that solely for the uncomfortability. I was like,
it was amazing. I love it.
I was like, I'm gonna cover this Billie Eilish song with my fuckboy icy ass haircut and just see how stupid I can make it. But while the drums are just like going off and like having a good time.
80,000 hits later, guys.
we were having fun with it, man. YouTube channel hasn't grown as much as I'd like for it to, because I've been on it for about 2 or 3 years now, I think. But I'm extremely but I also haven't been like, I've been so freaking busy. I haven't uploaded since last year.
Now that you're on 2020, you're going to get the 2020 bump, which means that Ben's mom's going to watch and at least several other people. So you're welcome. We're going to get you to that next level.
Dude, I hope Ben's mom for sure watches. That would be great.
She's going to call me up and be like, I can't believe that he acknowledged me. That was so nice.
Back in my day, the most handsome guys in my high school had mullets. I loved them.
Oh, my God. Oh, man, that's classic.
Oh, my God.
I liked him a lot. He's funny.
I got so thrown off after you shit on Ben for his keyboards that it just
no, it's okay. But I was just going to comment. No, but you have so much charisma, and like I said at the beginning of the episode, it really translates even in video, which is hard because you're not for a live audience, right? Is that something that you always kind of had that natural personality, or did you have to work on that? I mean, I'm just curious because I think that making videos can be really hard because you have to engage people. And just like Ben said, looking at the camera like that, those are things that people have told me in doing videos that I'm like, why would I do that? But I mean, it's very effective. And I think it's hard, to accomplish that. So where did that come from? How do you work on that?
First off, Ben, I don't know why I gave your mom a Southern accent when I was impersonating her.
She's from Chicago, so
I can't even do it.
Oh my God, I love it.
But Siobhan, to answer your question, to be honest, I am extremely awkward in front of a camera. I still have not mastered it. Literally, if you watch, there was a round of videos on. God bless. There was a round of videos on my YouTube. There's like 4 or 5 of them. You gotta like go find them. Where me and my buddy, he's like, man, you need to. He's the guy that films me, or that he filmed a lot of the videos. He was like, we need to get you to talk more. Like people need to know you and and I'm good at talking to people. I love talking to people. Like this, I can do this for hours. I could do this all day. But talking to a camera, it just does not correlate with me for some reason. I don't know why, because I don't feel like, anytime I talk to just a camera, I don't feel like I'm being genuine. And I don't know why that is, but, this round of
maybe
videos,
Tinder.
What?
I feel like a Tinder, like when you send those girls those videos, like, but you're sending them to 16 girls at once. How could you really be that sincere?
Dude, I'll be real with you, dog. I had Tinder one time, and it was in 2014, and literally my bio. I swear, I'm gonna answer your question, Siobhan. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. No, please. We like to derail each other here.
I had Tinder one time in 2014, and literally my bio said, I am not here for anything other than to find my band a place to sleep on tour. Come to our show.
Oh, great.
That's all. It didn't work.
That's resourceful.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. I was
Worth
like, my
a try.
band's on tour. I'll get you into the show. Just give us a place to sleep and shower. It didn't work. But
Did you have the mullet at that point?
No. I didn't look good. I was wearing like I looked like trash. I mean, I look like trash now, but
It's well thought out trash.
Yeah, it's a little more flashier trash. But anyways, yes. So.
Oh, we were talking about charisma on camera, but you were talking about the person that does your videos and getting you to engage more.
Yeah. Do you want to shout him out, by the way?
Yeah, his name is. So I have two dudes to do my videos. One of them is the one that's done the majority of them. His name's Miguel Rivera, the most insane videographer. He's so freaking sick, dude. He's the best. He used to work for. I don't know if you guys like go to the gym or do anything else, but he used to work for a supplement company called BPN. They got like over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Very, very, very big supplement company. He did a lot of their video work for the past year and a half. And then he just went and got a job for another fitness company out of Columbus. So he's doing like a lot of video stuff for them too. He's phenomenal at his job. I've been trying to steal him away and get him into music, but he's getting a pretty good salary at these places.
Gigs.
How did you find it? Not to interrupt you, but how did you find a person like that? Because I think a lot of people underestimate the importance of your video person or photographer, like the person that helps create the content.
I was very fortunate. He played guitar in the local band that I was in. But he actually, when we were in the band together, he didn't start doing video work until 2015. 2015 was when he got his first camera. And he started off doing just like fitness vlogs and like guitar playthroughs. And then he ended up just like really diving in head first and was doing like helping out with like tour recaps and then he, started shooting music videos and doing like product videos and photos and all kinds of different stuff. And he started traveling and shooting like stuff for cities and stuff for hotels and like lifestyle stuff. And then he ended up getting a job at BPN and, and really he just helped me. Like I was just a little, me asking him to do my drum videos he was like, yo, you're one of my best friends. Of course I'll help you out. But then he ended up moving to Texas. So, and then, but now he's back in Kentucky and he's about to move to Columbus. So I'm extremely happy for him. He's incredible. If you try to find his Instagram, it's at filmed by Miguel. Sorry, I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, we're Starset's based in Columbus, so whenever I'm around, I'm always interested in knowing who's good at video.
Oh wait, no, sorry, it's at Miguel Rivera Films. Sorry.
Okay.
he's changed it like 3 times. I can't keep up. And then
Filmed by Miguel is like this porn just for just
nice, yeah.
OnlyFans site. Cool.
That Miguel films my side project. And then the latest videos I've released, which was like, I think it was like Lil Nas X, the Astronaut in the Ocean, Justin Bieber.
Can we talk about the astronaut in the ocean? Because I want to talk about this because
let
him shout out his guy. Yeah.
Sorry, the guy that shot that. His name is ZJ Fultner. And
nice.
His Instagram is zj.me. Anyways, yeah. Sorry, Astronaut in the Ocean.
Well, I hadn't heard this song, but there's like a lot of this new, I don't know what you even call this like type of hip hop where it's like really short tunes where they have like these different sections. And like they have these sections that I can only refer to as like fucking full blown breakdowns in metal. You know what I mean? And you groove so hard. And the thing is because of like the syncopation of like the way that it's written, your drumming is just out of control. And it's weird because I wouldn't have ever listened to that song and gone, I really like this. But with your drumming, I must have watched that video 4 times because it's only 2 minutes. Like I really mean that. Like it's, what about a song like how do you approach a song like that? And where do you find like where to groove and where to do, your thing?
So the way I do my drum videos, I try to make it as hard on myself as possible. Just so I can solely tell this to people and then be like, yo, what the fuck? So I don't ever practice those drum videos before I get into the studio. I literally show up to the studio, choose the songs, and then go and do them.
Wow.
And half the times I haven't even listened to the songs in full. So that song in particular, which I could probably be a lot more prepared when I go in there, which would probably be better. And I could probably get more done, but the story's so much cooler this way. And so that song in particular, Astronaut in the Ocean, it was very big on TikTok for a while, which was why I did it. And just, see if it would hit, see if anybody gave a shit. And so we went in. I didn't realize that it was a full song. I was like, oh, this is a full song. All right, cool. And so I sat there and I listened to it. And then I went into the studio room and I just ran through it. And I noticed that there was that part when the second vocalist comes in and it hits that syncopation of the, put the shit in the flame, or whatever the rhythm is. And I was like, dude, how sick would this be if I just followed that with my kick pattern? Like if I made that into a kick pattern. And then he hits the part where he's like, pass the baton, and I was like, dude, I could probably do like a little like Flam 5 hurt to thing here and just be like, all right, cool. So like, time changing, like. So I was just like, all right, whatever. Like, we'll mess with it. And I did like 2 takes, and I was like, oh, this was sick. And that's what it came out to.
It's like incredible tap dancing. That's like what it reminds me of, like incredible tap dancing. The way that you play on that, it's fucking amazing.
I just went on a whole tangent of literally like drum language that everybody was like, what is...
No, our audience will love that. Our audience will love that. Yeah, like, no, everyone will be into it.
Oh, what the hell is this guy doing?
We've had people like literally play entire excerpts of guitar things on the show, like with a guitar in hand.
And we've had Shannon Larkin bebop, ba-dooba-da-bop, bing bop bang multiple times.
Multiple times, yeah.
We
live for that.
Language is something. But yeah, Siobhan, so like I'm terrible at talking to a camera. I'm great at talking to people.
As we all are, I think.
Yeah. And so really those few videos that my videographer had like talked about, that I was talking about, he got me to like talk at the end, and we just made these like really funny skits. Like one of them, I was like standing on a ladder, and I was just like, oh, you made it to the end of the video. It's super awkward, and I'm just like staring at the camera, and it's just really, really funny. There's like 4 endings on the YouTube channel that are really funny, and that's probably like the only time I kind of like displayed my like funny kind of personality, just like, you know, hanging out. But I've been thinking about it more because I'm really starting to fit into this persona of like, you know, little dangly earring, chains, glasses, mullet, like the whole look is
Dude,
like just
you're
It's
like a
coming
fucking
together.
reinvented Kenny Powers, bro. It's like the best fucking thing ever. You got like the little let me explain you to like you got the little George Michael thing going on with your ear. You got a little Dog the Bounty Hunter. You got like one part Def Leppard going to the show. Like you look like you should be on a typhoon, like literally looking for alligators. You know what I mean? You got a little bit of bedazzle, like with your own fucking name. Like dude, this guy, I swear to God, and he's got just a stash. So, like, if there's anything, nevertheless, the chains and the tats, it's very confusing. I don't know what would happen to you if you went to jail. But, like, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. I don't know. I think
you're like the Rosetta Stone for the Crips. They're like, I don't know what he's trying to tell me with those tattoos.
Yeah. I think people would be really confused. Be like, this guy looks really Southern, but like he has long hair. So do I fight him or do I try? What are we gonna do with this guy? And then everybody else probably thinks, oh, that's funny. That's funny. I never even thought about that.
It's the perks of being in the music world.
There needs to be a little mystery always.
No fucking rules.
Always. But yeah,
Absolutely.
so like I'm really like developing into like this persona, and I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. I took it, so like I just filled in for like an 05 post-hardcore band called Scary Kids Scaring Kids, like super old band. And I my goal was to walk on stage just looking like I don't belong there. I wanted to look you know, a lot of post-hardcore bands, you know, they walk up with they're either in their super like swaggy new age outfits, you know, wearing like Supreme and a little bag or, you know, whatever they wear, or they're in their like super tight pants, you know, button down shirt and, you know, looking, you know, like it's extremely too tight and looking, you know, like they're in a post-hardcore band, like, cause they sing really high and stuff. And I was like, how can I completely not look like that? How can I just like completely just be me? And I was like, dude, rock the hat with a fish hook, put the shades on, and just look super douchey. Like look like just look like white trash. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And it hit. Everybody on the tour, every show we played, there was like compliments on the glasses. There was people that made fun of me. There's people that loved it. It was awesome. It was just like people were talking about it. And like people were coming up to me after the show and be like, yo, were you the guy with the glasses? I was like, yeah, I was the guy with the glasses. Like they're right here. They're on my hat.
You know what you remind me of, and this is a crazy analogy, but it's really true. I watched an early interview with King Diamond from Merciful Fate from like the early 80s, dude. And the guy is, first off, so well spoken, and he had just the earring like you too, and just the stash with the glasses. So that goes along. But he's very well spoken, and he was saying very similar things to, like, you know, how he doesn't really fit in, how he tries to be different, how sometimes he sings way high, but that he likes it, and that he invites people to love him or hate him, and that like his divisiveness is part of the thing. But when you speak to him, he's so normal and laid back, and like he understands it. And the way that you talk about it, I swear to God, I encourage you to go online and go and just type in like King Diamond. And if you look that up, anybody listening to this, like it's great because he's also such a great ambassador for metal. And I know that you're an 80s metal guy. And if you haven't seen it, just watching King Diamond speak with his accent is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I want to like, I was talking to, so the guy that was filling in on guitar for Scary Kids, he's doing okay on TikTok. He's doing pretty well. And he was like, dude, you should really like, because I've already been doing, I was kind of doing this with Jelly, but instead of like a trucker hat, I was wearing a cowboy hat. And so on this run, I was really like fitting into the persona. And he was like, dude, you should really like take this and apply it to like your social media, because like this is a character and he was like, this is you, like you're being yourself. He was like, but also like you could take this as a character and really just brand yourself. And I was like, dude, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about just like creating this like persona for online, but I don't want to like, I want to be super over the top, but I also don't want to be to the point where people like are too scared to like come talk to me live because they think I'll be an asshole. But like, but I'm not, because I'm not. I mean,
I don't think you don't have that vibe, so I think you'll be okay.
No, you're super genuine. I mean, but I can understand that it's hard. You have to maintain kind of a public persona without creating too much of a barrier between you and the people that appreciate you.
Yeah. And I'm super excited to see what Paul, the artist that does the artwork for 2020, does with your promo pic. I think
he'll make you into a cartoon. That's something that we do for every guest.
Yeah. So
please do. I've been waiting.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for someone to get me into
the front cartoon. At the beginning of this episode. If anyone missed it, you can go back and you'll be able to see it. But we are at the end of hour one with Cody Ash. This has been awesome, man, and I feel like now we can start diving a little deeper. You've been touring for a while. I'm sure there's some tour stories. There's other fun things we can talk about.
So much left to talk about.
But for anyone that wants to check you out, obviously the YouTube, it looks like Instagram is at Cody Ash Drums. Anything else you want to plug right now for our listeners and or viewers?
Just Instagram, YouTube, at Cody Ash Drums. Go follow my boy Miguel at Miguel Rivera Films. Go follow my buddy ZJ at ZJ.me. And then, go listen to Jellyroll.
Which we'll get into in part 2. We're going to get into how the continuation of your career. So everyone listening, you've been 2020. Stay tuned for part 2 with Cody Ash.
It's just the beginning.
Casey Chaos, I mean, the name couldn't be any more fitting. When he's on the stage, I mean, he would jump up on the Marshall with the head and the cabinet, and the Marshall be doing this.
Oh my God!
You know, and Sonny be rocking, and then he'd jump off and fly into the drum set, and drums would fly, and Shannon's still crushing whatever's in front of him, and people are trying to put it back up, and they hit the drum in their face while they're trying to set it up, and then Casey would come over right after a setup and just grab the cymbal and throw it across the stage, like they just put that back. You know?
Oh my God!
Poor this is in front of fucking 80,000 people in England, and I was sitting on stage like, these are my bros. You know? Yeah, that was pretty awesome.